Hello travel lovers, welcome back to Vlogmas here on A Wanderlust for Life. It is day 16, how exciting. I am gonna do a Q&A today. I asked on the community tab here on YouTube and on my Instagram for what you wanna know about whatever it is I can share with you. And I've gotten some really great questions, and I'll also go over some questions that we just get a lot. So let's jump in. The first one is from Instagram, and it's from Katie, and she asks, what made you decide to start vlogging? Well, Katie, I started vlogging every week starting January 2019, and I'd already been a blogger for a while, and I saw that video was really taking off, and part of me kind of wanted a piece of that pie, and part of me just wanted to take on a new challenge. And creating videos and everything is definitely a challenge because I had no experience. I edit on Premiere Pro, and luckily Sean had done a few things on Premiere Pro as well. So I learned a little bit from him, and then I learned through tutorials and things like that. I've been through a couple different cameras, trying to find the right one based on my needs at the time, and so I have a bunch of camera bag videos that you can check out. I'll leave them down below so you can see like the evolution. So yeah, it was mainly just new challenge. It's been really great. It's slow to start for sure on YouTube, but it is fun once you get into it, once you start learning and growing and having a great community like you guys. So thank you for being there. Courtney from Instagram asks, what are some resources for Americans who want to move to Amsterdam and find a job? Well, Courtney, first let me preface this by saying we didn't need to. Sean has an Italian passport, and as long as he finds a job, then I can stay here as well. So that's what we did. He searched for a job before we left, moved here, and continued his search when he was here, ended up getting a job, and the rest is history. I have worked at an international company as well. However, as an American, it is quite difficult to just move and find work due to visas and things like that. So the best way to do it is to work for an international company in the United States, and if they have an office here in Amsterdam, that is a great way to do that. You can also, of course, look for jobs here and hope that they will, provide the transportation and everything for you to move here, including the visa, of course. It does happen, but those are quite specialized jobs. I do hear about people who just want to move here and do jobs that aren't as needed here, because obviously there's a huge population that already lives here that can fill these jobs. So you really have to offer something that nobody else here can offer. So just keep that in mind. The other way is the Dutch-American Friendship Treaty, and that is basically when you create a business when you move here. So you can check more information out about that. I'll leave the link down below for you to research a little bit more. But to move here and then find a job, it's not wise, it's not recommended, and I'm not even sure that it's legal, because technically when you pass through border control, you have to say like why you're here, and if you don't have a visa to work, then you can't say that. So sorry, I know that bursts a lot of bubbles, but having the EU passport does allow us to live here. From YouTube, I got the question from Callie, and the question is, what is your favorite place in Europe? I knew this was coming. Italy. Aside from Amsterdam, we love living in Amsterdam, so there's no way around that, but Italy. And since we had been to Tuscany in August, it was literally a dream come true, and it was everything that I imagined, everything I dreamed of, and I can't even believe it exists. So definitely Italy. As much as we love Tuscany, we've also loved pretty much everywhere that we've been there. Trentino, Venice is really amazing. I know everybody says it's overrated, but if you can stay a few nights and really see Venice, explore the different islands and such, it's a great thing to do. Sardinia, an island off of the west coast, Sicily, of course, on the south. It's just all amazing, and there's so much variety. And yeah, we just absolutely love Italy. I'm sorry if I say this name wrong. Molenga asked, how do we commute if it's by bike, and if so, how do we deal with the weather? So before COVID, when Sean actually went to the office, and before I started working from home, we would take bikes sometimes, mainly when it was nice weather. So We are not quite there yet to where we will cycle in any circumstance, but we tend to commute by bus and then to the metro, and the metro is how we get to the center of the city. And then from there you can take a tram, another metro, or walk. Katie asks on YouTube, I'm not sure if this is the same Katie. If it is, well, thanks for following me on all these different platforms. That's awesome. Really appreciate you. She has lots of questions. When we first moved, did we have a job? No. We did think that Sean was going to be contracted out by the company that he was previously working for, but that just never happened. He did find a job within about 2.5 months, and he is pretty specialized, so that's not too surprising. So he had to get a job for me to be able to stay, and it happened. Best pizza place? Okay, so the most popular pizza place around here is called La Perla. It is fine, it's great, but there are a lot of other pizza places, but there are a lot of pizza places. Here in Nord, near our house, we have Il Pecorino. That's one of our favorites. But in the center, I'm not sure. I don't usually eat pizza like in Amsterdam or in the neighborhoods over there, so I can't really answer that too well. Best pancake place, Pannenkoekenhuis Upstairs. This is right in the center of the city. It has 4 tables. It is up steep stairs, so if you cannot go upstairs, do not go. It's cash only, and they are absolutely delicious pancakes. I hope you get to go and make a reservation. I'll leave the information below. Have we rented a boat and done the canals on our own? No, I'm too scared to. I have been on plenty of boats in Amsterdam though, and it's always a dream. If you come to Amsterdam, the #1 most touristy thing in the world that you can do is take a canal cruise. Ideally, take a small boat canal cruise. There's a couple great ones. I'll leave them down below. There's a couple on the top of my head, Boat Amsterdam, Those Damn Boat Guys, and a couple others that I would recommend. There's some really great ones. Our favorite Dutch tradition that we've adopted probably has to do with around food. So oliebollen is something that we eat around this time of year. I showed you that in a previous video. King's Day, I love King's Day. I love the festivities. Pride is a big thing here typically, and I love being a part of that and just showing support. But actual Dutch, we like to be on time, which when it comes to like social parties and things like that, I think that's kind of important. I think if I'm wrong, please tell me. Scheduling things ahead of time. That's definitely me, and that's a very Dutch thing. Spontaneity isn't as big part of the culture as I would have thought, but it's really great. Yeah, and I love being on my bike. I absolutely love the freedom. Best museum. Okay, I haven't gone to a lot of museums despite having the museum card multiple years. I do think the Scheepvaartmuseum, which is the Maritime Museum, is really amazing. I absolutely loved it. The Tropenmuseum, if you like cultural stuff, that is really great. Of course, the Rijksmuseum, if you like art, that's a no-brainer. The Bols experience, it's not as much a museum, but it is really interesting because you get to learn the history of this spirit that came from this place in this era, and that it's really cool as well. The Anne Frank house is so crowded, and I just don't like, there are people who absolutely love the Anne Frank house, and if you want to go, you should definitely go. However, I would suggest going into more the Jewish quarter, and if you want to learn about Jewish history during the war, that is more where I think you should go. I think you're going to get a much deeper experience from the Jewish quarter and the different museums over there. And Janet asks, what is our favorite part of living in Amsterdam? Oh man, the community. I do feel like even as an expat, so as an expat you don't make friends quite as easily because a lot of expats are very transient. They come and they go. We've experienced this ourselves, and it's really sad and frustrating because you build friendships and then you have to let them go. So I think the Dutch feel the same way. You know, they don't really want to build a bunch of friendships that are just gonna leave, but we've been really lucky because this is our home and we are staying here. And just like, you see people around the city, and it's so crazy because there's like 850,000 people in Amsterdam, and we've seen people during Pride and King's Day, and it's so much fun when you just run into somebody in the city. I mean, I could tell you so many stories from like a couple years ago when the canal froze over and I was walking on it, and a friend of mine saw me and I was like, hi! And then she took photos for me because Sean was sick and he couldn't join me. Just walking to dinner one night and our friends go ding ding on their bike, and they don't even live anywhere near there, and they were just passing through that part of the neighborhood, which I don't even know why they were in that part of the neighborhood, and that was so great to see them. The funniest thing that happened though, we moved from the west to the north. Our neighbors below us, they lived there forever, and the only people we knew in our neighborhood was literally the people like in our building. So ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, and we were on the fourth floor. And we moved to Nord. We went to the shopping center that we actually don't even go to that often. But it was like our first night here or second night here. We went up there and we saw our neighbors from the west at the fry shop. And I'm like, why are you over here? You live like really far away. And that was really fun. And so it really is a small town. And I say this to everybody, like Amsterdam's amazing to visit. Living here is just, it's elevated because you get all of the amazing things, but then you get like you get the real side of Amsterdam, and I think the real side is even better than the side that visitors get to see, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, that is the perk of living somewhere. And because we are a city with so many visitors, it's nice to kind of have a little, I don't know, secret vibe all to yourself. But I'm happy to show any of my friends like those secret places too. So if you enjoyed this Q&A, please go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe to this channel if you aren't already, because I'd love to have you stick around. And hit the notification bell so that you get notified of all the videos coming up, because there are quite a few more days left of Vlogmas, and there's some really exciting, fun things coming up, and I really hope that you can stick around for those. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!